And I'm proud of every aspect of our economy, everything that we do across the country. And that's why I've always said I will fight for every job. I know how important a good, well-paid job is. And I hope you've seen some of that in the trade deals that we've recently done with countries like India, the US and the EU. And that comes from my absolute determination to create jobs, good jobs, and to drive down the cost of living and put more money in your pocket, which is, I think, the thing that most people are most concerned about. That's what drives me. But you can't say that about Nigel Farage. I mean, this is the man who said that Jaguar Land Rover deserve, his word, to go bust. And he said that because he didn't like an advert that they made. This is a company at the absolute forefront of British engineering. And he says they deserve to go bust. But unlike Nigel Farage, I've been to see the workers at JLR several times over, particularly recently. And I know what those jobs mean for the workforce themselves, for their families and their communities. And I saw firsthand the anxiety on their faces. I met them just as I've met you this morning. I saw the anxieties on their faces when they thought their jobs were at risk. So when they needed support earlier this year, when we had to fight for their jobs and make a deal with the United States, I protected those jobs because I had them in my mind's eye. And politics is about who you have in your mind's eye. We protected those jobs. Would Nigel Farage have done the same? Absolutely not. And that's the question you have to ask about Nigel Farage. Can you trust him? Can you trust him with your future? Can you trust him with your jobs? Can you trust him with your mortgages, your pensions, your bills? And he gave the answer on Tuesday, a resounding no. He set out economic plans that contained billions upon billions of completely unfunded spending. Precisely the sort of irresponsible splurge that sent your mortgage costs, your bills and the cost of living through the roof. It's Liz Truss all over again. Now, in opposition, we said that she would crash the economy and leave you to pick up the bill. And we were right. And we were elected to fix that mess. Now, in government, we're once again fighting the same fantasy, this time from Farage. The same bet, in the same casino, that you can spend tens of billions of pounds on tax cuts without a proper way of paying for it. Using your family finances, your mortgages, your bills as the gambling chip on his mad experiment. And I can see that in keeping with my point, apparently he's in Las Vegas today at a casino. And it's not a surprise, because he said that the Liz Truss budget, in his view, was the best since 1986. That shows his judgment. It shows what he'd do. And the result would be exactly the same. Now, I'm not prepared to let that happen. Labour's plan for change has stabilised the economy. Growth in our economy is at the fastest rate in the G7 this year. 4 cuts in interest rates. That means mortgages coming down. And a pay boost for 3.5 million low-paid workers. And unlike Nigel Farage, I know what it's like growing up in a cost of living crisis. I know what it's like when your family can't pay the bills, when you fear the postman and the bills that may be brought. And I know how much work we have to do. But there is not and never will be a magic wand that can wave away the need to manage the public finances properly. That is the foundation upon which everything rests, always. Now, we were elected to change the country, but we were also elected to never put working people through a crisis like Liz Truss ever again. And so that is what we're doing. Scunthorpe Steel, that was rescued. JLR workers protected. Wages rising. Mortgages coming down. NHS waiting lists cut. 3 million extra appointments this year. The living wage raised. Water company bosses fined. You saw that earlier this week. Immigration falling. Breakfast clubs in every school. An investment in infrastructure right across the country. The biggest levelling up of workers' rights in a generation. And a massive cash injection in our public services without making working people pay. Nigel Farage stands for none of this. He literally voted against it. Against sick pay for working people. Against fire and rehire. Against cutting fuel duty. And now he wants to blow up the economy all over again. Well, we won't let him.